it was funny. We were sitting on the end of the property watching a bait hole we had put out there, and all of a sudden one of the spy point cameras goes off on the other end of the property. So we jumped out of the blind and boogied around there and slid in, had a good wind, eased up in there, and we got within about 50 yards of them. And I told his son, I said, look, when we're in the blind, I said, look, when you turn that IR light on, make sure it's pointed kind of up in the air. Don't point it right at the hogs when you turn it on because they'll spook them. So he wants to shoot laying down where we were at. I'm like,
Prone,
okay.
huh?
Yeah. He thought he'd get steadier. So I got him in the thermal. I'm recording. And the hog had his back to us, and I didn't think he could see us. I'm like, all right, go ahead and turn your light on. And he touched that IR light, man. That hog's head flew up, and he took one step and looked over at us, and he's like, nope, I'm out of here. And they was gone.
Wow.
So, maybe we'll get them this weekend. Never know. But so got to do that. Picked up a couple boxes of 44 mag today. I did find a couple, and they were normally priced, so it wasn't too bad. Let's see, what else have I been
What is the
doing?
normal price in those now?
This was some high quality defense stuff, and it was like $38 for 25 rounds. So,
did I give you that 44 mag I had here?
You have not.
I may have 3 or 4 boxes of it sitting right here.
Well, I will take it.
I will look and see. I've got this crate of old ammo of guns that I've had over the years. I was going through there the other day and I found 5 boxes of 4570 government. That stuff is this shy of being air to was it ground to air defense?
Yeah.
Big old ship.
That's a big old round.
Yeah.
Big old round. But let's see, I've been studying for my ham test, and
yeah,
I'm signed up. I'm going to be taking it Saturday at
awesome.
an event. I'm going to a local event with a club here in Warner Robins, and they invited me to come out and hang out with them and do some stuff. And then I'm going to take the test while I'm there. At that, they're going to be doing it. And they told me, I said, hey, bring your radio with you. We got some guys out here that be happy to help you out, programming it, get it programmed for you. And I was like, okay. So I'll go out there and maybe I can learn something. I can read about that stuff all day long, but just reading about it doesn't do me any good. I got to get my hands on it and tinker with it and that kind of stuff before I can figure it out good.
Yeah. That's the way it is. You just got to get in there and start using it, but you got to get your license before you start using it. But you can listen. I mean, you can program your repeaters and stuff like that in. But
well, I can't get past when I turn it on. It wants me to put my call sign in.
Oh yeah,
and I'm afraid to put something bogus in it just to start because I'm afraid I can't go back in there and change it once I get it in there.
Yeah, you can go back and modify, change, or whatever, but. Yeah, it will broadcast your if you're on digital, it will throw out your call sign out there if you're link into any will get busted.
Yeah. So I'm just not going to mess with it.
You stay analog, you probably be all right, but you
well, not
on
knowing
VFO. Well, you should be able to spit on. Yeah, you should be able to put it on VFO. You don't have to put any call sign in to start. I don't think you have to put anything in to get started. I mean, that's like the startup, the start thing. But I think you can just click over and hit your VFO, hit your is a memory and a memory /V.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be this VM down here at the bottom. You click on that, and you can just scan. Then you could go hit the little FMW button, and then you hit scan, and it'll scan just whatever frequency you're in. If you're in 2 meter, which is probably what most of your towers are around there, there could be some 440 or 70 centimeter, but you pick up signals. Plus, that thing's got a scope on it, so you turn on the scope, and you can see wherever there's activity on the channel. So it's got like a I can show you. Well, I can show you if there's anybody talking. Ain't nobody talking tonight. There's a local ham club near here is having a meeting tonight, and they're testing. I think they got expecting over 20 people come to test tonight. First time they've tested since COVID started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you can click and hit the where's it at? Scope. I gotta go. I gotta switch to VFO. I gotta switch to. Y'all not caring anything, but VFO means that it's a variable frequency. It's not a memorized channel. And then you click to scan on that. I'm trying to switch over here to scope. Go. But you can see sort of the display right there. It's sort of hard to make out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot with that background that's messing up. But there's a little scope there. It shows you where the channels are. You can scroll through there and find somebody talking. So you can find somebody talking on simplex. You can find somebody talking on a repeater. You might find them transmit because you transmit on one, you receive on the other. So, so until you have them programmed in, it could mess you up. I'm gonna turn this off because as sure as I don't. Oh, I got a new signal stick antenna. You can't see because it's green.
I figured.
But it's actually glow in the dark, so you can sort of see like a predator kind of thing every once in a while. But it glows in the dark. You turn off the lights, and you can see it. And the reason I got that is because sometimes I'm outside at night talking on some of these ham nets, and you can poke yourself in the eye with the antenna. I picked up another one. Well, I picked up 4 of them because they were really cheap when you bought more than one. And I got a BCM connector and the converter to convert it to the Yaesu male adapter. And so it's just quick disconnect. So you just push down, twist it off. And so I have this one in my excursions, so I can hook up the roof mounted antenna with this BCM connector, or I can switch it back to the little signal stick. And I really like these signal sticks. The original one I bought was a diamond, and it got bent up. Somebody threw something on top of my backpack, and it was attached to some of my backpack. And then I got another nice antenna, and it got bent up. And then I kept hearing people talk about signal stick. I looked them up, and these dudes are cool. They're like wire. It's in black. You can barely see that one. But you can tie these things up in a knot, and they'll go back to the original shape. They got memory steel, so that it goes back to where it's supposed to be at. It doesn't get bent up like the other ones. And it's got a good signal. I talked to with this 5 water. I'm talking on a tower that's good 15 miles away, but it's like 850 feet in the air. So that's the only reason I could hit it. But it's enough about ham radio. Back to you.
But you got some good signal with it.
Oh yeah. I have complete 9 bars. It's crazy how good the signal is. They're like, you're talking on HT in LaRue County? I'm like, yep. They're like, wow. But that's just that. It's a really good tower and repeater. Must be high quality. But they cover most of central Kentucky down here. That's out of Columbia, so it's quite a ways off. We got a local linked repeater over here in Buffalo, I think.
Well,
all your stuff?
I'm anxious to get started, man. I want to start messing with it.
Good deal. Yep.
Because I should be able to talk to you, shouldn't I?
Yep. On Yeezy System Fusion. I've got to finish setting up my node here at the house. It's just got put on the back shelf because of all the other things in my life that have taken place.
I understand that.
I got all your stuff for the week.
That's me, man.
Okay. Daily Bible reading, watched a lot of sermons. I got to where I watch like 4 sermons on Sunday because if I don't go in, if I'm not serving in security, then I'm watching like 4 sermons. And we've got somebody's got it covered this week, and then I'm on security the following week, first week of February, and then on the God side, and then been fasting. I fasted 2 days gosh, was that in the last week, like Friday, Saturday? I fasted 2 days, and then I switched my diet up, and I went completely. I don't know if you call it paleo. I'm not doing any dairy, so I don't know if it's paleo or whatever. But it's the diet I lost all that weight on. I
Mm.
went hardcore again, dropped out all the sugar, all the flour, all the everything that's good and tastes good. I got rid of all that, and I'm just doing meat and vegetable carbohydrates and high fats. I'm not doing any nuts for the first 2 weeks. I'm not doing any cheese the first 2 weeks. Not doing any dairy. Probably won't do any dairy other than maybe a hard cheese. Uh, and I'm down. I don't know how many pounds. I didn't weigh this morning because I had to take my mom to the hospital or to a doctor for tests this morning. About 5 in the morning. I had to have her in Louisville by 7. So, and it was snowing last night, and the roads were froze over with black ice. So it was a lot
I,
of fun. It was
I
a lot
saw
of,
that. John sent me a video last night of it snowing.
yeah, it snowed pretty good. It snowed more in Louisville than it did down here. I think they had it like 3 inches up there, and then so I sat up there waiting for her because you can't go into the doctor's offices or the hospitals or any of that stuff whenever they get procedures. And so I sat in the parking lot and I drove my truck because of the snow. And so I sat out there and listened on my FTM 400 Yazoo and talked to some guys up there in Louisville and some of the different ham repeater, bunch of repeaters up there. I mean, they got tons of repeaters in Louisville. I mean, tons of repeaters and lots of Yazoo system fusion. It was cool. So I had lots of things to pick from. Got into some conversations up there, some CQ. Had QSO. So a lot more people to talk to up there. It was fun. And then the guns picked up some more reloading components. Picked up dies for 4570 government. Found those. Found those at Southern Shooters. What Mid South or Southern Supply? I forget which one. One of those two down there in Tennessee or Alabama or somewhere. Found 4570 government dies. Found 4570 bullets. Found everything I needed except for one of the powders I'd like. I mean, I've got plenty of powder of different types that I can use, but there's one that's supposed to be better for the weight of bullet I'm using. I've got enough powder that I can. I mean, it's not the optimal best one, but it's in the top 5 bullet powders to go with the bullet. So I'm pretty much squared away for that.
Are you having to buy primers?
No, I bought primers over the last 4 years. I've been buying up all the primers I could find because I knew this day was coming. So I got, I don't know, 2 or 3 ammo cans full of primers of different types: large rifle, small rifle magnums, and small pistol, large pistol. So
what would it run for primers if you were reloading 223?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't looked since the COVID started. I ain't looked at primers. They're rarefied air. Nobody can find them. So I should probably move them to my safe. that's how high demand primers are for 5.56 223 right now. It's crazy that you just can't find anything. I mean, even black powder supplies are gone. And there's these guys on MeWe now popping up that went out and bought all the ammunition they could find at the stores, and are now trying to sell it for 3 times what they bought it for.
Oh yeah,
that makes me sick. I mean, if you ain't got a gun for it, don't be going in there and buying it and jacking the prices up. I mean, I understand capitalism. I mean, I'm all for capitalism, but if you're a part of the game, you shouldn't be buying up calibers you don't have and then turn around trying to get 3 times price. I know it's an investment. You're taking a risk, but it just irks me the wrong way. The gun community should be better than that.
Should be.
But these guys, I don't think are actual gun guys. These are guys just going out and starting their own black market crap.
These are the guys that are going to academy and getting in line early in the morning and getting all
buying everything they get. Yep. No matter what the caliber is, they buy it up. And it's the same way with reloading stuff. People are like was camped out on top of these different reloading supply houses, and they're buying up everything. They turn around trying to sell it for 2-3 times the price. It's disgusting. It's
Yep.
almost as bad as cheaper than dirt.
Oh, I don't buy nothing from them, man.
I used to buy the HK Mags because they had you could buy them for like $2.99. The rusted ones, they had surface rust on them. You just clean them up a little bit, oil them, they're good to go. And then the aluminum ones were like $3.99, and I bought I don't know, man, a couple hundred of them, I think, and I put them in ammo cans and stuck them back in underneath the reloading bench and stuff, and forgotten about them, but. Because they're so cheap, I just thought, and I had two HK. Speaking of which, I mean, I'm not done with my guy guest stuff for the week, but Puff is going to make a cameo tonight. For y'all who don't know who Puff is it's a PTR PDW, but it's pretty much a HK51. If you know what HK51 is, but it's not a select fire. It's just semi-auto. Got the 50 round drum on it. It's got the tail hook. Let's see, who makes that tail hook? I forgot. Don't have a name on it. Yeah, Gearhead. But it's got the tail hook on it, so I don't know if you guys can see that. But it actually is it's an actual arm brace. It actually, you can hold it with one hand. So it's an actual pistol arm brace that works. It's the only pistol arm brace I think that works. That helps you hold it with one arm. And then it closes up whenever you don't need it, and there you go. But I love Puff. Puff throws out the biggest fireballs that you've ever seen. 308 with an 8.5-inch barrel is a big old flame throwing machine, and Puff is fun.
I got a video of shooting Puff.
Powder is gone here. Very full bullets on the shells. Yep, and primers are gone. Yeah, people are buying up anything gun related and turning around and trying to, rip people off.
Yep.
I mean, if you don't have the caliber, don't be buying it. I don't. I see stuff that ain't my caliber. I don't buy it unless I got a friend that I know needs it or something like that. I might pick it up. But yep. I saw ammo being sold today for. I saw 223 ammo for sale today. Cheap stuff for $1.50 a round. I'm like, you're a dirtbag.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you follow me, so you might be hearing it. Guy who's trying to sell it for $1.50 a round of. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. All right. So have more friends send me some brass. My neighbors found me a 5-gallon bucket load of lead, and so he's supposed to be getting that for me this weekend. I think this Saturday. And so I don't know how many pounds that is, but he said it was totally full 5-gallon bucket of lead. So that ought to be hefty.
Wheel weights.
I don't know what it is. I told him I said I need to know what it is so I can know how much to pay, because I've been buying it before all the craziness hit. I was buying it for $1 a pound, already cleaned and fluxed and cast into ingots. I was buying it for $1 a pound, and so I don't know what kind of lead it is, but I can probably load it into something and shoot it. Yeah. If I have to add some alimony or something to harden it up for rifle bullets, I can do that. But we just gotta wait and see what it is and what it shows up to be. I think it's probably wheel weights or a lot of that roofing. Seems to be a lot of that roofing lead. They put down the edge on the old roofs of the houses, the gutter, the little piece of metal down the where the valley is.
Yep.
There's a lot of that available, and one of our friends here locally, Jody, he called me. He put it on Facebook. He had a lead bar. It's about 24 pounds. It's solid lead bar. Somebody poured it into a great big tray. It's a huge lead bar. So I picked that up for less than $1 a pound. A whole lot less than $1 a pound for that. So that was cool. So I've got a lot of lead to make some bullets with. I just got to get the smelter out or the pot out and start dropping some. When it warms up some, it's just been too cold, man. It was like 19 this morning when I took off for Louisville. So it's been a long day. I got up at 3 and I think it's about 3:30 and went to Louisville, stayed up there most of the morning, and then got back to Elizabethtown about 11. Got back home about lunchtime and been working on the show and talked to our buddy Paul for a little bit this afternoon about something coming up. And so that sounds exciting. So you guys will hear more about that, I'm sure, from Paul here pretty soon. And then EDC, you done seen Puff, and I'm carrying the my new favorite gun, the STI Staccato C, and it's a 9mm. Got that big bull barrel, and she's hot, and there's nobody in front of me, just a wall. So that's okay. I can point my direction. So what you carrying?
Oh, I got the usual suspect, man. Glock 19.
Yep.
She does not have a bull barrel. She's just got her regular barrel, but she does have the Paul Merkel student of the gun night vision sights on her. Yep. And she's a bad boy, and I like her.
She's a bad boy. That only makes sense these days.
It makes perfect sense these days. Hey, so I was just sitting here looking, man. So I was going to tell you, I picked this up a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It's 420 rounds, and I paid $149 for it.
Is that 9mm? I didn't see what it was.
5.56.
Oh, 5.56. Okay, I couldn't see this what it was on the screen there.
So I could have been. I could improve my situation by probably $300.
Yeah,
if I want to get rid of it.
Like 3 times is what they're jacking it up to. I mean, I could reload it for like 19 cents a round back. I mean, since I bought the components pre-stupid, it would be about 19 cents a round. But you could buy it. You could buy it. Under 30 cents a round for ball stuff. You can buy it all day long for under 30 cents a round. You can buy that green tip stuff. Also carrying the
hook.
The hook, baby. It's the Miltac Karambit.
Is it called the Talon?
I don't know what they call it. They don't have a name on it. He just said, "Hey, check this out." So I said, "I like it." He said, "Here you go." I said, "Thank you." So that's my knife. You got what else you carrying? The usual stuff?
I ain't got nothing else on me right now. Actually, I told a couple of my buddies, I said I'm going to start buying just 22 Magnum, and I have a 22 Magnum too. So you can seem to find that pretty readily.
You can find that?
Yeah, I can find that down here. You can get 20, and it's not crazy or nothing like everything else is. So I may just have to start buying some 22 mag, and I can screw my suppressor on and go at it.
Cool. I got a couple of 22 mags. I got a 22 Magnum Keltec PMR 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a Colt. What is it? A Colt Frontiersman or Frontiersman, something like that. Nickel plated that my dad bought. Was like his dream gun when he was in his 20s, late teens or early 20s. And it's got a presentation box and all that. And
nice.
It's a beautiful gun. And I love it so much I don't really want to shoot it. But I mean, it's a great gun. It's just like it's like a fine, Swiss watch. It's just everything clicks and just you could tell it was very meticulously put together and well made. It's so precise. How everything moves, all the parts move, and how everything works together.
I have let's see what I got. I got a stainless. I think it's a Savage. I think it's what it is. But anyway, it's a 22 Magnum stainless with a synthetic stock on it, and then I have a a Ruger new single six that's got the 22 long rifle cylinder, and it has a 22 Magnum cylinder with it. So
Yeah. I love those single sixes. I think I've had like 4 of them. For some reason, I keep selling them. I don't know why I keep doing that. I get one, and I love it, and I shoot it for a while, and then it goes in the safe, and then it sits there for a year, and I'm like, I could get rid of that.
I'd like to pick up I got the 44, the Smith 44, but I would like to have a Blackhawk in 44 Magnum to go along with the new single six.
Oh yeah, single
Yeah.
action.
Mm-hmm. It's like keep watering the 22, and one day it'll grow up into that.
Billy Madriaga used to have a Ruger black powder. I think it was called the Blackhawk. It was like the Blackhawk, but it looked like a Blackhawk, but it was a percussion revolver.
Mm-hmm.
It had the little loading gate. It had the ram on it.
Yep.
And that was a cool gun. It took you forever to reload the thing, but it was fun to shoot. But I mean, it was a process. Every time you had to reload the thing, then you just took it over to the water hose and just washed it down and dried it off and lubed it back. Put oil back on it. But because it had that corrosive black powder. Oh, you guys a joke or feedback? What we got?
I think Jim said 9mm is $44 for 50 when you can find it. And I told him it's running $1 around down here now for 9mm.
Yeah, I saw for $1.15 today that same Joker. I'm like, what a ripoff.
Yeah, they can.
I have to defriend this guy. I tell you what, you need a high point. Yep. Yeah, I don't have a good hammer. I need a good hammer.
Need a high point.
We're gonna get in trouble again. We're gonna get in trouble.
That's Daryl.
He's starting trouble.
He's a duck hunter.
He's trying to get us in trouble.
He's been killing some ducks.
Slaughtered them.
He has, but yep. So joke tonight. I do got one. I found one, and I read it. I don't remember it. So
okay,
yeah, that which ain't uncommon. So it's called "Thou Shalt Not Lie." A minister was walking down the street when he came across a group of about a dozen boys, all of them between 10 and 12 years of age. The group had surrounded a dog. Concerned the boys were hurting the dog, he went over and asked, "What are you guys doing with that dog?" One of the boys replied, "This dog is just an old neighborhood stray, and we all want him, but only one of us can take him home. So we decided that whichever one of us could tell the biggest lie will get to take the dog home." So, of course, the Reverend was taken back a bit, and he said, "You boys shouldn't be having a contest telling lies." He told him, he said, he went into a rant for about 10 minutes on a sermon about lying. He said, "Don't you boys know that it's a sin to lie?" And ended with, "Why, when I was your age, I never told a lie." And then there was a dead silence for about a minute. And just as the Reverend was beginning to think he'd gotten through to him, one of the smallest boys gave a deep sigh and said, "All right, give him the dog."
Let him without sin cast the first stone.
That's it. He lied.
Liar.
Lie.
Well, I got a bunch of Bible verses tonight.
You do?
I don't know that we're going to read them all, but I am going to show one, and we will go from there. So our Bible verse tonight is going to be coming out of Philippians 4:11 through 13. This is Paul speaking. "Not that I'm speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me." And a lot of you know those verses very well. But the reason I was reading those tonight, the reason I have put these into our show is that A lot of times we get wrapped up into what we don't have. We can't find ammo. We can't find the gun we want. We can't find the radio we want. We can't find primers. We can't find things that we're looking for. We can't find toilet paper. Whatever it is, we are discontent with our situation. But what we need to make sure we're focused on is to give God uh, praise for what we do have, to
Hmm.
recognize the things that we are blessed with. We do have lots of guns, or Doug and I have been blessed with lots of guns over many years of trading and dickering and trying to work our way up, and started out with little cheap guns and worked our way up to be able to buy nicer guns over the years and
Yep.
nicer toys. And, it's a process, and you can lose it all. I mean, Doug and I can lose everything we've got in just a matter of a short period of time. But our hope is not in our guns or in our ammo or in the stuff we have. Our hope is in Jesus. But be thankful for the things you have. Be thankful for your health. Be thankful for your family. There's a lot of people in our community that are suffering horribly with health issues.
Yep.
As Wendy and Doug have just went through all this COVID stuff, man, a lot of people have succumbed to it. And I've made light of the severity to the degree which everyone has blown this thing sky high. It is a real disease. I never said it wasn't, but people are struggling. There's been lots of people pass away. Hank Aaron died this week, I think, and
Hmm.
after he got the COVID shot, and so there's just been a lot of people in our community up here in LaRue County. We've got two little girls, the same family, have leukemia. It is just devastating. One of them just got sort of back into remission again, was getting ready to go home, and her little sister got diagnosed while at the hospital with her sister, and they put her into the hospital right when they were getting ready to come home with the older daughter, and now she's going to be in there for at least a month. Just devastating news for the family. And so we all in this community have been praying for them, and they were doing fundraisers, things like that. There's another little girl in the same school here in LaRue County has leukemia. There's people that you and I know that are dealing with cancer and things like that. So be appreciative of the health you have. I had some bad news. I got some weird stuff going on, losing the jawbone under some of my teeth. So I might be having some big gaps in my mouth. My smile might be a little bit darker coming up in the future. Uh, Going to a specialist on the 9th. So you guys remember me in prayer, if you would, that we can find out what's causing this and get a stop to it before I lose more. It looks pretty dire to some degree. I mean, I know people have experienced this, all the time. People lost teeth and had to get partials and get things like that. And I never thought that was going to be me. And it just occurred really quickly. So that's the disconcerting part about it. So you guys remember that. But we need to be thankful for what we've got. We need to be thankful for healthy children. We need to be thankful for healthy, that we are healthy. That we have the ability to have a roof over our heads. That we have the blessings that we've been given. But more than anything, that we have the gift of eternal life. That we have forgiveness for our sins. That we have the community of believers to support us and lift us up in prayer. That we have those things, and so as it is easy to get downhearted, it is easy to complain and grumble. It doesn't do you any good. It just makes you worse. And I'm chief at the top of that list of sinners. And that, and Doug and I have whined and belly ached and moaned about the way this last year has gone, and so is everyone else to some degree or another. But let's not lose hope. Let's not lose focus. Let's keep our eyes on the prize, as Paul tells us to keep our eye on the prize, and don't look back at what you can't do anything about, but look forward to what our hope is. Our hope is in the eternal salvation, right? Our hope is in that future. But some other Bible verses, I'll just read a few here quickly. I don't want to drag it out, but my encouragement for you guys tonight is to not look at the things. And I'm talking to myself. I'm preaching to myself. My wife's probably up there laughing, calling me a hypocrite if she's watching. But But we need to know that, God has got his hand up on us. As if we're followers, if we're faithful, if we're righteous, and that means right before God, right? It means that we are in a right relationship. We are asking forgiveness of our sins. We're confessing sins. We're recognizing sin in our life, confessing it. We're seeking after God. We're reading the scriptures. We're supporting other believers. We're being a part of the church, doing our part. If we do that, God says He's going to bless us. He's going to give good gifts to His children, right? And Jesus said that He is going to send the Comforter, right, the Holy Spirit, to be that intercessor for us, to be able to intercess for our prayers, to help us to have a hope and courage. And so, just a couple verses here. Going to go to Romans 5, verses 3 through 5. More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. Just what we just got talking about. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. The devil always is looking to steal your joy.
Yeah,
And that leads us right into John 10:10. I mean, when we think things are going well, and all of a sudden we get hit with 2020, and then we get hit with 2021. My gosh, it just gets worse. The hits keep coming. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Jesus says, I came that they may have life, they may have it more abundantly, or they have it abundantly. And so the thief, who's a thief? The thief is the one who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. That's that is the enemy of the kingdom of God, right? He's trying to destroy. He's trying to take away from the kingdom. He's trying uh, to cause us to have doubt, cause us to lose our faith. And so you need to make sure that you're keeping your faith in the right places. You're not keeping it in your bank account. You're not keeping it in the house you live in. You're not keeping it in the nice car, truck that you drive. You're not keeping it in your relationship with your wife. That might touch some people, or your children. You're keeping it in Jesus Christ alone, because all those things could disappear. Not that anybody wishes that, but I mean, it could disappear overnight. I mean, look at Job. Job was allowed to be put at the devil's will to try to break him, right? That could happen to any of us. And we don't know why that God allowed that. But if God wants to do that, that's God's right. God created us. God can take us out, right? As the old saying goes, tell a kid that was messing up, I brought you into this world and I can take you out. Well,
that's right.
that's God. God brought you into this world, and He can take you out for whatever purpose that is benefiting Him. And we just have to trust in Him, whether we are righteous or whether we're wicked, whatever is we're all condemned to death. I mean, because of Adam's sin, we're all under a death judgment. If you don't understand that, because all of humanity is under the curse because of Adam's sin, Adam and Eve's sin. Because of that, we're all born with a death sentence. We're all going to die someday. Our only hope is in Jesus Christ. He is the only acceptable sacrifice that God the Father will accept as atonement for the sin that we are under a penalty of. And other than that, you have no hope. You can't be good enough. You can't give enough money to the church. You can't get powerful enough. You can't live forever. You can't put yourself into a machine and call yourself and think you're going to live for eternity. You're going to die. You're going to be judged. And so our hope is in Christ. And so let's keep focused on that and not get wrapped up in rivalries and things like that. I mean, we have this righteous anger of how things are being done in our nation's capital. And that's right for us to feel that righteous anger, because it is unholy things that is happening. It is evil things that are happening. There are unjust things that are happening. And we should be upset by those things, but we shouldn't let it take our joy. We shouldn't let it cause us to lose our hope, because our hope is not in this world. Everything in this world is going to burn up, every bit of it. Everything that man has created will be destroyed. Every single last piece of it. So whatever you build in this world is going to vaporize. It's not going to survive. So lay up for yourself treasures in heaven. Don't be wasting time trying to lay up for yourself Ferraris and big pickup trucks or whatever it is that makes you happy. Don't let that rule your life. Make sure that you understand that this is all temporal. The things that you see around you are temporal. There was another guy in this community that a lot of people knew really well, just passed away unexpectedly this last couple of days, and I'm not going to say anything about him, but I mean, he worked hard and he accomplished a lot. And had made a lot of money and had lots of toys. Don't do him a good now. I mean, make sure. I mean, and he's a believer. I'm not saying anything negative about the guy at all. He was a believer. He's a good Christian man, good family man, things like that. But that stuff's just going to disappear. Don't lay up for yourself treasures on earth, right? Which will get stolen or will rot or rust or will just be worthless someday. And you realize that when you go and clean out your great grandparents' house and there's all this stuff that they've kept all these years.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants it. It was treasure to them and it meant something to them, but it won't, other than the antique value, things like that, or memorabilia, things like that. But it's not going to last. It's going to rust. It's going to fall apart. It's going to turn to dust. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean into your own understanding. That's Proverbs 3:5. And then Psalms 51:10, create in me a clean heart, O God, renew a right spirit within me. And this is one that I was praying this week because I had, when you start facing these parts of your life where you're starting to get old and things are starting not to work anymore, and you starting to see the end is starting to come up into a little bit more clearer focus, it helps you to step back and remember we're not going to live forever. There's a day when we are not going to be here any longer. And that, for me, could be tomorrow. I mean, I'm in a demographic of health-wise that I could probably be gone tomorrow, and it would be probably just a normal thing, You and I both have had lots of friends that went to school with us that have passed away in the last few years. I mean, tons of friends, and just unexpectedly. So make sure that your heart is ready for what's coming. Your spirit is set upon God, and that you are making sure your house is in order, because we don't know how much time we have. And what we will regret is the things that we didn't do. We didn't share the gospel. We didn't tell our grandkids about Jesus. We didn't tell our children about how much we actually rely on Jesus. We tried to look like we were all stoic and we were tough and all this stuff, when in reality we're praying and crying in our bedrooms at night at whether or not we'll be able to feed them, whether or not we'll be able to pay the bills, and not explaining to them that we put our faith and our trust in God to get us through. Don't try to steal God's glory. Make sure your family knows your deep faith in God, your deep faith in His provisions, His sovereignty over your life, His provisions for your health and those things. Because if they're not told those things when tough times come, they won't have a rock that we've had to anchor ourselves to. They won't have that refuge because they will not have heard the stories of our faith. It's important to tell your testimony to your children, to your family, to your neighbors, to your church members, to different people that are in your sphere of influence, that they know your hope was not in your bank account. Your hope was not in the nice place you had to live, or your job, or your family. It was in that your faith was in God to provide for you. And I have spent those nights on my knees in the floor praying for God to help me get through the pain, help me get through the fear of not having the ability to pay for expenses. Just how we've over and over again had to come to Him and trust in Him, and He has brought us through those things. So important that you tell your children that, important that you explain, that you don't put up this false what am I trying to say, Doug? This false yeah, false persona that you're somehow better than most men or whatever.
Right.
Don't steal God's glory. Don't steal His blessings. Tell others about it. I have everything I have. I owe to God. Everything I have, I owe to the blessings of God upon my family, upon our family, and not that we deserve it, not that we somehow have earned it. It's God's decision to do it, and He could take it away tomorrow, and He would still be as awesome as He was the day before. So we need to make sure that we're passing along those uh, blessings to our children, to know the scriptures, to know our faith and where our faith was at, and whom we put our trust in, because there are tough times coming for our children, our grandchildren, and they're going to need to know that our faith, and they're going to need to see our faith in action. They're going to need to see us in prayer. And
That's
so
right.
that's my encouragement tonight. And Doug, you jump in here and let us know what you got to say on the subject. I'm sort of putting you on the spot here, but
Well, it's like you said, you can't put your faith in things here because things tear up, things break.
all the time.
It seems like 2021, it's constant for me.
Yep.
But you know what? It's just another day.
Yep.
You fix it, move on, get done, and deal with it. This is 2021 has not been a good year so far,
Nope.
and but it can't even get better. I trust in God, and I'm going to believe in God, and God brought you in it. God can get you out of it.
Yep.
Who knows? Who knows? Like I have said this umpteen times on this show, and to people around. You never know what God is putting in your life as a trial or tribulation to be an inspiration to somebody later on
Right.
that may have the same problem, and that you can talk to and do things for. And you never know. So I take it with a grain of salt. Rock on. Like Wendy being in the hospital. I had every faith that God was going to heal her and bring her home, and she was going to be fine, and she is now, thank God.
Yep.
And I thank Him every day. And I knew I was going to be fine. Why, I don't know, but I just didn't feel like it wasn't my time. It wasn't going to get me. So, you never know. Yeah, I've been pretty brutal lately on the Biden administration, and Biden's doing the.
They deserve ridicule.
He does. Well, he's doing his first 100 days of destroying the country. So every day I'm going to make a point to show something that they're doing. It's like, all right, boys, y'all voted for this nut job. This is what you get.
I don't know that anybody did vote for the guy. I know a few did, but I don't believe there was no 80-something million.
No.
There's no way in my life that 80-something million people voted for a guy that stayed in his basement most of the year.
I got no doubt that he got 81 million votes some way, somehow. But it wasn't from people putting his name on a ballot, I promise
you. Yep.
But until you can prove it, he is the president. I asked somebody the other day, I was like, did the Democrats did they copyright that phrase, not my president, or is that something I can use?
They still got them shirts available. I'm sure they'll sell them.
I know.
It's all right. It's okay. Don't matter anyway. All right.
I have some friends of mine that are libertarian, which, hey, just made it to the terrorist watch group along with. Yeah, you didn't see it the other day?
No.
The guy started naming off, fascist and this and that and racist and blah, 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 blah.
Fascists are socialists. Just for y'all that don't know history, fascists are socialists.
Yeah.
The Nazi Party is a National Association of Socialist Workers or something like that in Germany. They were leftists. They weren't right people. They were leftist. So they were not. Fascists are people who want to suppress people's right to speak, like Antifa, and BLM, and the Democrat Party.
The Democrat Party. Well, this
Right.
dude starts naming off all these names, for the new terrorist group of Republicans, that he was naming off. And at the very end, the very last, I mean, he had a list of names that he was calling. And at the very end, he goes, and libertarians. I was like, really? I was like, okay, whatever.
Because they believe the Constitution. Libertarians believe in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Nothing outside of the Constitution should be law. And I agree to a great extent to that. I'm pretty much, I'm as close to libertarian as you can get for a Christian. I'm not down for all the drug use and all that stuff, but I'm, pretty much if people want to destroy themselves, that's between them and God. And as long as they ain't out on the roads endangering my family, I'm okay with it. But it's but they're endangering their own. If they have children, that's ridiculous. They're not taking care of their children. If they have a vehicle, they should not be on the road. So if you want to go get whacked out and destroy yourself, go out somewhere where you're not going to hurt anybody. And I don't really care, other than the fact that God, calls us to be sober minded. He calls us not to be drunk. He calls us to be in control of our faculties and not to give ourselves over to spirits, and that could mean alcohol as well. But we've been on that road. We don't need to beat that with a bat. But if you're endangering your health, and you're endangering the temple of God. And so, as a believer, if you're not a believer, you're still destroying the image of God by mutilating yourself or making yourself sick with all this stuff. Well, let's keep it rocking and rolling. We got to get down through to the armed citizen coming up in just a second. We got some patches and stickers look like this. Thank you guys for ordering those. Subscribe Star is God and Guns all together. God and Guns. And Subscribe Star, if you didn't set it up so that it automatically does it every month, then you just get the first one and then it doesn't renew. According to our friend Jeff, who made us aware of that. And then you've got the next two, and then Armed Citizen.
Hey, Axelson Tactical. Hey, if you're looking for a tack driving rifle, or you want a custom built pistol, knife, but they got all kinds of stuff, go check our buddies out at AxelsonUSA.com. And you've seen Troy's rifle, you've seen my rifle. They're awesome. And if you're looking for one, they still have them in stock. You can buy them from them. Use the promo code God Guns, get 10% off for listening to the show. Also, Palmetto State Armory. And dude, I'm going to tell you, Palmetto is running the exact same thing every week. Once in a while, they'll throw one little item in that's a little bit different here lately, but I just don't think they have the stock either. I went to my local hardware store, like I go in there. That's my brother. But I went into my local gun store the other day, and I tell you, it looked like they were having a going out of business sale. There wasn't nothing in there, and they're hopeful, but I think Palmetto's running into the same issues. But sometimes they have some stuff, sometimes they don't. But when they do, you better make sure you jump on it. But go check our buddies out at PalmettoStateArmory.com. And that is it.
Deal. All right, Armed Citizen of the Week. What happened?
Phew, this is a good one. This week's Armed Citizen comes to us from Sugarland, Texas. A mother in Sugarland, Texas, defended herself and her child when an armed robber forced his way inside the residence in the early morning hours of January the 22nd. The mother was asleep inside the residence while the 8-year-old child when she awoke to a sound coming from the back door of the home around 4:30 a.m. That Friday morning. She grabbed a gun and went to investigate the noise. She then found the back window smashed in with a man crawling through it. The mother then shot the intruder, striking him in the chest. The wounded intruder quickly fled the residence, and the mother called police. When the police arrived, they were able to track the intruder from the blood trail and finding him less than a block away. The wounded intruder was taken to the local hospital and was charged with burglary of a habitation along with unlawful carrying a weapon. Neither the mother or the child were injured in the incident. That came to us from KHOU.com, Houston, Texas.
Tejas.
Tejas.
Cool deal. We need to go there and shoot some pigs one day.
I know, right? I wonder what she shot that dude with. If she shot him point blank in the chest. And,
He walked away.
yeah, he walked away.
I mean, depending on what he's wearing.
I wish they would do like
Probably
us.
a 40 Smith Wesson.
Yeah, he ain't gonna walk away from that bad boy. I promise you.
Let's see. 22? Probably 22.
Yeah, probably.
Or a 32. Or a 380. Probably a 380.
Hey,
Texas women, they pack some pretty good heat, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Take a shot right in the chest, though. Mm.
I tell you what, that sternum is pretty hard depending on where you got hit at.
I'm thinking about doing a little video with a full size silhouette target.
Uh-huh.
Shoot it a couple times with an AR, and look at the holes in the chest, and then shoot it. From the same distance. Like what, 10 feet, 12 feet, and then shoot it with some double aught buckshot right in the chest, just to show the difference that shotguns do make good home defense gun when you got them loaded up with double aught buck.
Looks like a fist size from that. Depends on the type of buckshot. Depends on 8 pellets does better than 9 for some reason. We found that out in the shotgun class at Bulwarks was running. It seemed like the 8 shot double aught buck with a flight control wad did the best patterning in about every gun that was out there.
Really?
The 9 shot stuff always had a flyer. So you had like 8 of them in some kind of configuration, and you had one out here almost all the time. That 9th one was way outside of the rest of the pattern. And so if you were shooting, trying to get a coin, you didn't want to have 9 pellets. You wanted to have 8. Something how they stack. They didn't. That 9th one always had a flyer. As Professor Paul would say, that's a lanyap for you. That's a bonus.
A bonus round.
A baker's dozen. You get that 13th one. All right. We're going to wrap this puppy up. I don't see any requests, rude comments, hateful remarks over here in the comment section. You guys have been pretty quiet tonight. Not like last week. You guys got to step up your game over there.
I know, right?
Tell you what, man. Y'all slacking over there. Got to cut y'all's pay. All right. We're going to wrap this puppy up. Glad to have you guys with us. We appreciate you being here, whether you're slacking or not. Send your feedback to Troy at GuyandGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GuyandGunsPodcast.com.
Please tell your friends about us. Like us on iTunes, or give us iTunes review. Like us on Facebook. If we're going to still be here, I don't know. Who knows? YouTube. We're still over on YouTube for now. Right now, we're still on YouTube. So check us out on YouTube. We are like 5 people away from getting monetized, which we won't get monetized. But I think we're like $4.95. How many people got it now?
Subscribers? $4.99.
$4.99. We're one person away from getting to 500 so that you can actually get monetized. Not that we will ever get monetized, but just I'd like to get there, But we've been at like $4.90 for like a year. We'll get almost up there. No, almost up there. And then it'll drop down. We'll lose 10, 15, 20 people. But
you remember YouTube took all of them away from us back in November, December.
Oh, yeah. They cut out a bunch.
We didn't have nobody.
Yeah, we was down, 300 something. It was crazy. So just remember that. If there's anybody out there who hadn't subscribed, please do. Thank you, Semper Boat.
That's my friend Ron.
Good deal.
Yeah, get your wife to subscribe, Ron. Put us over the top. Come on, buddy.
Your wife's sister, or friends, or brother, mother, sister, whatever. Instagram, you can find us on Instagram. Wimkin, we've got a Wimkin Guide and Guns page, and I got a Wimkin personal page. It is sort of one of those hit and misses. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's been hacked or taken down. I'm trying to keep stuff over there. It's a little frustrating. We are on Rumble, so when YouTube decides to finally get you a Rumble account, we actually can get paid from Rumble because they won't demonetize us. We're also working on a full 30. Jared over there is helping us get a full 30 count up and going over at Stu the Gun. He's been working with me this week trying to get that done. I just got to get a few things on the bio. We got to get our webpage straightened out so we can get over on Full 30. You can find us on MeWe. And again, there's some crazy deals over there on MeWe for gun parts,
Yeah.
bullets, and stuff like that. People are trading Camaros and stuff for high points. It's a crazy world over there right now.
We need a new hammer.
Yep. Oh, all you hammers. Paul had a recorded show today about ham radio, so I guess that'll be coming out in the feed here pretty soon. I was in there making some comments. Website is guidinggunspodcast.com. If we should disappear someday, that thing will be live, hopefully really soon. Till then, Doug, till next time, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bibles closer.
Night, y'all. Appreciate you being here.
Bill and Ron both said they had their wives subscribe, so it hasn't switched. It's still $4.99, but so we got two more. So that should put us at 501 somewhere.
Good deal. Maybe I get my wife subscribed. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Hey,
Talk to y'all.
Seriously, I mean, everybody that listens or watches the show or whatever, send it out to your friends, and have them subscribe. Let's.
I mean, what more can happen to you in 2021?
Bill told me to refresh my screen, but yeah, it's a live feed. So let me see. Let me refresh this. 500.
500. Woohoo! Maybe we'll get a plaque.
Let me get one more.
We gotta go. We're rolling into the next hour. Talk to you guys next week. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Adios.
Everybody have a good